Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys joining me today and making some time out of your busy schedules to check the video out. I always appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about if you had one lure that you had to go out and your life depended on catching a bass in the month of August on one lure. I'm going to show you what that one lure is, and we're going to talk about how to fish it, type of areas it works in, just overall, how to get some bites on it, because it's absolutely my favorite lure for this month. Also, guys, just a quick invitation out there. I'd like to invite everybody to please consider subscribing here at Intuitive Angling. Right now, guys, 60% of the people that view the Intuitive Angling videos are not subscribed to the channel. It's just free and easy. If you can unsubscribe anytime you don't want to, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button on the homepage. I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, this is if you're watching YouTube videos, you're hearing tons of guys talking about the 5 best lures for August, best lures, top lures for August. That's sort of what YouTube, anglers do, which is good information. I mean, because every month changes. Every month, the mood and the personality and the things that trigger strikes from bass change from month to month, based upon a wide range of conditions. One of the things that changes, in my opinion, the mood and the personality of a bass on what they want is the daylight hours. Right now our daylight hours are getting a little bit shorter every single day. You got that combined in August usually with some falling water temperatures. Water is usually hot as it's going to be all year long. Your temperatures are maxed out. Oxygen levels are real sketchy depending upon where you're at. It can be some tough fishing. I mean, we talked about this before. August and September are the two toughest months of the year to bass fish. So anyway, guys, I want to talk about the best August lure. If you said, Randy, you can have one lure and you better catch a fish on this lure or something bad's going to happen to you, this would be this. You've heard me talk about it before, and that is the Megabass Super Z2 crankbait. Guys, I cannot stress to you guys how awesome of a crankbait this is in the summertime. This is a bass catching lure like you cannot believe when the water's hot. And also, guys, I'll link this crankbait link in my Tackle Warehouse description. If you guys want to pick you up several of them, you can use that link in the description. What I want to do is I want to talk about my 3 favorite colors based upon the situations you're going to encounter. So first of all, a little bit about the bait here. There's not a lot special about it. It looks like just a traditional crankbait. It's a small crankbait. It runs, if you put it on 10-pound test line, it'll run down 4 to 5 foot deep on a long cast. It's got sort of a medium wobble on the thing. It looks like a lot of different crankbaits, but one of the things we talk about on the channel here a lot, there are elements in any fishing lure that you can't really intellectually describe. You can't look at this lure and say, this is gonna catch fish. There's something about the combination of the profile of the lure, the way it wobbles, the water displacement in it, any noise it may or may not have. All of those factors combined contribute to a crankbait specifically being super productive or not that productive. I have seen, guys, in my own fishing, I've seen some of the most awesome, some companies have made some of the most awesome looking crankbaits you'll ever see, but I can't catch a fish on them. And then other crankbaits that don't look that good or look average, they just catch fish like crazy. And the 2 crankbaits, I can tell you right now, that stand out head and above anything else when the water's hot is that Bandit 200, which is very similar to the Super Z2 here, very similar, and the Megabass Super Z2 crankbait. So let's talk about the Super Z2 a little bit and the colors and where you want to fish it at. There's 3 colors you need to get, guys. If you want to go to that Tackle Warehouse and get you 3 to start out with, here's the 3 I'd recommend. Number 1 is the frozen glass color. We've talked about this. These are so popular, guys, they may be back ordered, but you can still place your order and you can still get them in a week or 2. But this frozen glass color is a real good color, and I'm going to break it up in water visibilities. If you have water visibilities that are in that 2 to 3 foot range, this is the color that I go to, the frozen glass. It's sort of a shad looking pattern. It's really good if the water's a little bit cleaner. This crankbait does not work hardly at all if the water visibility is over 3 feet. 2 to 3 foot depth visibility in the water. This is going to be really good. It's also going to be good on your brighter days, partly cloudy, sunny, that type of deal with not much wind. This is this is probably my favorite color. I probably caught more on this than anything. The next color is the blueback chartreuse side one. This is going to be a really good color when that water visibility is sort of in that 1 to 2 foot range, and especially during low light conditions. Like, this is a really good color like if you throw it right off the bat in the morning, like still a lot of shade on the water. Say you got water visibility of about 1.5 feet, cloudy day, rainy day, this is the color I go to. It really, really stands out. The bright chartreuse on here, the fish can really track it down. And then my third one is this chartreuse back, sort of the pearl sided one here. This is a really good color if the water is really dirty. So if I have water visibility that's under 12 inches in visibility, this is the one I go to because of that chartreuse back really, really stands out. I've caught a lot of fish on this. I got in one situation, guys, last year. I was up at Stockton Lake and we'd had some rain come in and it muddied up the back of this creek, and the water visibility was only like 6 inches, maybe 6 inches deep. And I absolutely wrecked them in August on this color right here. So here's the 3 colors that you want to get right here. These are my 3 favorite for the summertime fishing. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about where you want to fish this. Since, like I was talking about, that these crankbaits work the best in water visibility that's under 3 feet, you've got to hunt out that dirty water in the lake that you fish. If you fish a lake that has clear water everywhere, this is not going to be that great of a bait, but most lakes across the country, you can find some water visibility of 3 feet or less, depending upon where you're at. So my suggestion and my favorite way to fish, doesn't matter where I'm at, is I look at my map or I get on Google Map or whatever, and I pick out 2 or 3 major creek arms and I look at the major rivers that flow into the lake. The first place I go to are the major river arms, and I'll run far up these major river arms until I start getting into that visibility of water that is suitable. And then once I get into that area, I start fishing any shallow available cover. It doesn't matter. It can be a rocky bank. It can be a bluff bank. It can be a bank that's flat that has lay down wood. The Super Z2, guys, it comes through wood better than a square bill. This thing, I've never seen a crankbait that you can throw it in a lay down tree and it'll deflect off trees like a square bill. So I throw it around, lay down on stumps, lay down logs, fallen trees. I'll throw it around the corners of boat docks, on the edges of grass edges, whatever shallow cover that your lake has, that's what you want to target with it. And if you gave me one situation that I think it's going to work best, it's a toss-up between throwing this thing like down the side of a fallen tree in the water or a log. I've caught so many bass, casting right next to like a lay down log with this Super Z2. Or fishing dirty water, rocky banks, specifically like a riprap bank or 45-degree angle chunk rock bank where you have water visibility of about 12 inches. That's going to be really, really good. It's a really good bait to fish around riprap. Now, another thing with this thing, guys, is I throw this thing on a spinning rod. It throws pretty good on a bait caster, but I can get more diversity out of it with the spinning rod, because with the spinning rod, I can put it on 6 to 12 pound test line, depending upon the type of cover that I'm fishing. If I'm fishing shallow water, I'll put it on 12 pound test Seaguar Vizex, and I'll take that spinning rod and I'll pitch it, down the side of a log or something. Also, if I'm fishing like a long rocky bank, like a riprap, I can cast it 25% further on a spinning rod than I can a bait caster, especially if it's windy. So I've experimented with both. I've used it on a bait caster, a spinning rod, and I use it exclusively on a spinning rod all the time. I can get, a lot of times these fish are deeper than what you think. Like say, for example, if the water visibility is around 2.5 or 3 feet and you're fishing a riprap bank, sometimes those fish can be down there in 6 to 8 foot of water. And if you put the Super Z2 like on a 6 pound test line and make a long cast with a spinning rod, you can get it down into that 6 to 8 foot zone. But most of the time, most people are going to fish it on 10 to 12 pound test line. But anyway, guys, you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm telling you, this is the #1 August lure. If you have the conditions that I talk about, you can't beat it. Try it and just let me know what you think. I can promise you guys, it's gonna become your favorite crankbait you've ever fished. So anyway, guys, Tackle Warehouse link in the description. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later.